All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and apologies again for the fluke with the Zoom link. We may have a couple more people trickling in, but I'll be sure to let everyone in through the waiting room. I am going to kick us off today with a brief overview on the Cook County Small Business Source. As you'll see, they are co-branded on this presentation, and then I'll go ahead and kick it off to the star of the show, Allie, who's going to be giving us all of the tips and tricks on how to maximize your marketing game using Canva. So again, for those of you who may not know me, my name is Paola Garibay. I am a project manager on the economic development team here at the Berwyn Development Corporation. And I just wanted to briefly give a shout out to the Cook County Small Business Source, who we are a business support organization with. And the Cook County Small Business Source really aims to help provide all things business resources to small businesses located across Cook County. We do this with the Cook County Small Business Source through a network of other business support organizations that are located across the county. And all of those BSOs are specialized in one skill, topic, or another. Today, we're going to be sharing some of our in-house resources here with marketing, but the resources provided by the Cook County Small Business Source go beyond just webinars. We do business advising one-on-one with local business owners. We do them virtually, in person. We'll come to your place of business. If you need help with anything like marketing, if you are looking to open a storefront in Berwyn, we have a dedicated team here in-house that will walk you through all the steps that you need to do, get you connected to the right people at City Hall if that's something needed. And if we don't have the resource in-house, we will go ahead and refer you to one of our many partners across the Cook County source. Allie, if you can go to the next slide, please. So again, just highlighting here some of the main overviews of the Cook County Small Business Source. That one-on-one business advising, you will get paired with an expert business advisor across the county based on the needs that you identify you have. So there is an intake form we ask our businesses to fill out and let us know really what they need help with. This then goes back to the team that will pair you up with the best resource possible. It all is based on location, based on what you say that you need. So if you need help with marketing, you need help with grants or commercial loans, they will pair you with the best business advisor possible to help you get to where you need to be. Resources. There are over 50 partners throughout the network of the Small Business Source, and we've compiled everything from recorded webinars to templates for business planning, cash flow analysis, and anything that you can think of for supporting your business. And these can all be found on cookcountysmallbiz.org. Like today, we're having a webinar. There's a variety of events that take place virtually and in person throughout the year, hosted by all of the partners and support organizations throughout the Cook County Small Business Source. If you go to the website, there's a tab there with events, and it'll show you all of the upcoming ones that you can register virtually in person. And these are all absolutely free of charge to businesses. And lastly, access to capital. Again, kind of combining all of the resources across the network. Some of the support organizations have specialized programs for their service area. Like here in Berwyn, we have a couple of renovation programs, finish line grants, commercial corridor renovation grants, or we do specialize in business lending to certain communities. That might be a little bit different in Brookfield or in the city of Chicago, but if you go to this website, the great thing is that you will see all of it under one source. And that's a wrap for here, Allie. So lastly, just again, to really hit it home, some of these logos on the screen you may recognize as they are big, recognizable, notable organizations across Cook County. And these are our partners. They are business support organizations. We work with them. Actually, yesterday we just had a great event. It was a free sanitation management certification course that we partnered with the Illinois Restaurant Association, and we were able to get 19 business representatives to take that exam yesterday. There's events, like I said, resources all across the network and throughout the year. So if you're not familiar with any of these logos on the screen, I encourage you to do some research and see which one is the one nearest you. And maybe you can start a conversation and get support today. Next slide. All right. That brings us there for the overview of Cook County Small Business Source. If anyone's interested in learning more about the Cook County Source, please feel free to reach out to me. I will drop my email in the chat, and you're all connected with me by email already as well. I will go ahead and hand it off to Allie so she can run us through Canva. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to the first episode, basically, of our little Canva series, just helping you guys utilize it for small businesses. Just a quick introduction with who I am. My name is Allie General. I am the graphic designer and marketing coordinator for the Berwyn Development Corporation. I have a degree in advertising focusing on media presentation and design, and I've specialized in graphic design for the past 5 years, doing anything from print publications, digital posts, social media posts, web design, you name it, I've probably done it. And I've been with the BDC for about 8 months now. I do love to help out wherever I can. So I know that this is a short little webinar and we don't do our next one until November. But until then, if you have more one-on-one questions and just want to talk to me a little bit more, need any advice, I would love to help you wherever I can. And before we dive in, I just want a nice little reminder of everyone can design. It just takes practice. I'm still practicing and I've been doing this for 5 years, but Canva is a great source and tool for you guys to use. So I'm excited to show you a little bit about what you can do in a nice overview. So first of all, we are just going to be going over different tools you can use within Canva. This is going to be a very broad overview, but the goal is to understand the tools and features in Canva and how you can utilize them for your small business. We're going to go over the basics and then understanding how to manipulate templates that you can find on Canva and creating templates yourself so that you can always have posts or flyers, whatever you need for your business in a jiffy.
Allie, sorry, Allie,
Yes.
can I real quickly, I just want to add, we are going to try to reserve some time at the end of the presentation for questions and answers. But if anything comes up as we're going through these slides, please feel free to drop them in the chat and I will make sure Allie gets them at the end. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Beautiful. All right, so the first thing that we are going to look at is text. For the sake of time, I already have a link open just of a landscape Facebook post. And I'm just going to give you guys a broad overview of what you see when you open up a Canva design file. So right here on the left-hand side, you're going to see design. These immediately show you a bunch of fun templates that you can play with. We go into elements. Elements are a great tool within Canva and probably one of my favorite reasons to use it. You have anything from shapes that you can utilize, graphics that you can search and put into anything that you want, AI generators, which is quite new actually, stickers, photos, videos, audio, charts if you want to show any statistics, any growth, whatever it may be, and then frames, so you don't have to do just a basic photo. You can kind of have a little bit more fun with it. Same thing with grids and mockups. We then go into text. So in order to add a text box of any kind, you just hit text box. It is as easy as that. So we're going to just type in hello there. I'm a big Star Wars fan if you cannot tell. So when you click on the text, you will just be able to increase size by grabbing any of the corners, dragging them. It is super easy. A great thing about Canva as well is that you're going to have these guidelines. So it shows you the margins, if you're in the middle, and in the middle again. So the complete center. So there we are. You have text. You can change any of your text over here, which is wonderful. I personally like Poppins because it reminds me the most of the BDC font because we do not have Sophia Pro on there. But moving on, the next thing I want to show you guys are adding photos. So there are two different ways that you can add photos. You can, one, simply just drag and drop the actual photo into the file. So that would be something like this, just dragging and dropping. Oh, it didn't like me. Let's see. Well, that's okay. We already have stuff over here. So you either drag and drop onto it and it would work, but you can also just go into the uploads, which it will automatically go into once you drag and drop it onto the file. So you have the uploads and then you can mess with it a little bit here. Again, going back to elements where I was talking about the frames, you can actually press any of the frames and be able to add the photo into that frame. So that's what I was talking about, where you went from the actual size image that you have, and now it is in a circle. Again, super easy using Canva. You double click it and you're able to change the sizing of things. So we want to crop it out. So you're just seeing beautiful Helen right here. There you go. Very, very easy to use, very user friendly. My biggest suggestion would honestly just be to mess around with it. Practice makes progress. So, going on, other elements that you can use. Like I said, graphics are really fun on Canva. I personally use it a lot for that. So you could actually go into search elements, and let's say it's about to be fall. In my mind, it already is fall, so we could search up a nice little pumpkin. And you can see right here just how many things you can actually grab from Canva. You pull it over, again, you can adjust the sizing, you can duplicate them if you want a whole bunch of pumpkins, everything like that. So very, very fun. And everything within Canva is for the most part very editable. So you can actually change any of these colors over here, which is super, super convenient. So moving on, my number one recommendation when using this for your small business would be to automatically set it up as a branding toolkit. What you see right here is actually within Canva Pro. So this is only a feature available within Canva Pro, but what you had seen on the other side, if you click on brand, you can create a brand toolkit, which I personally think is very useful. It'll save you some time, but I am going to show you guys how you can do this without using Canva Pro. But again, look into it. It's 30 days free that you get automatically just by creating a Canva account. So you can try it out for 30 days, see if it works for your business, if it's something that you would like to utilize. But for the time being, we're going to go back to the other one, and I'm going to show you guys how to actually build a little brand toolkit without doing that. So this is kind of what we're going to create. We weren't able to download our logo, so we're going to start here. So automatically pull in your logo. That would most likely have your guys' branding colors. I would go again into text. Like I had said, I have a font that I know pretty much matches ours at the Berwyn Development Corp within Canva. So I'm going to go over again, click on the upper left-hand corner, go into Poppins. I like to have a variety of fonts. I think it's something really useful. With picking a font family, you have a variety of them depending on what you're using for your graphic. So different strokes is what they're called. We're going to do this, duplicate it. I like having multiple fonts. You're going to go back into Poppins, medium, and then this is just something that you're going to do with whatever font you're choosing for your business. And then I would say pull over boxes just so that you have your colors. I'm going to show you guys something really fun and great that Canva does. So we have a box right here. I want to update this color so that I'm pulling the colors from our personal brand. So you come over here next to shape, you click the color, and you have two ways that you can go about taking any color from any image that you want. Number one would be to click on this rainbow, grab the eyedropper tool, and actually go straight over on top of it. So that is option number one. Going to duplicate these two more times just so that I can grab the other two colors. And then I'm going to show you guys the other way that we can do it. So again, clicking on the next box, we still have the color open. And this is something that I really love that Canva does. So under photo colors, it automatically pulls those colors that are from our logo that you can automatically use. So I'm going to choose the darker gray and the lighter gray. This right here is a mini brand toolkit. My recommendation, if you don't want to do pro, is to basically do this with your brand and then have it open in a separate file when you're creating another template. So when you have a file open, it would be over here. You have your file open on the next one. You're able to copy and paste, keep those the same. Again, I think consistency is key. So that is why I am really trying to nail it into you guys that try to keep up with your branding, try to make everything consistent. The more that you are recognizable through whatever you are producing, the better it is for your customers and for you, for business. All righty. Moving on to the next one. Let me close this for you guys. Now we're going to get into the fun part, the templates. or what you need to include on graphics. So fun little fact about this right here. These two flyers, the flyer and the poster, are actually templates that I did pull from Canva. They were something that I needed to create quick within the BDC. So I went on Canva and I utilized it there. What you need to include on every single graphic. So when you first look at the flyer and the poster, the first things that you're going to see is the "You're invited" and "Happy 1-year anniversary Berwyn Sprout" in these two examples. That is what I like to call a hook. It's a thing that immediately pulls you in. It's what you notice first. Those are something that is one thing that you most definitely need to have. My next suggestion would make sure that you always have photos. They always do better. They pull the attention of whoever's looking at the graphic immediately. There's been studies, again, I went to school for this, and they always try to hone in the fact that photos always do better. You'll probably notice it as well when you're scrolling through something. You probably are more drawn to photos than just something that has nice lettering on it. Number 3, include your logo on everything. Again, this goes with branding, just making sure that you have a consistent look and feel and that you are constantly recognizable based off of what you are producing. Here you can see that Berwyn Sprout, the logo, is on the top left-hand corner of both of these. And then the next most important thing that you always want to include on every single graphic you produce is a call to action, which is basically a redirection to what you want them to do when they are looking at this. For instance, the flyer has a QR code and "register here." That is a call to action. We are redirecting them to go register for the event, which is the 1-year anniversary of Berwyn Sprout that happened last week or 2 weeks ago. And that is the redirections. That is the call to action. That's what we're asking them to do. Where you will see that differ is the poster. That is because the flyer and the poster have two different things that they are trying to accomplish. The flyer is something that we're sharing before the event, trying to get people to register, trying to get people to attend said event. Whereas the poster is something that you're going to see when you are already at that event. We no longer need them to register, but we want them to go and look at more. That is why we continue to include the Berwyn Sprout link at the bottom right-hand corner of the poster. So just keep that in mind. Based off of what you're using your graphic for, you're going to change things. But that is why templates are so great. And just starting with the flyer, moving on to the poster, you're able to really keep the same look and feel. But again, different usage calls for different things. It just simply wouldn't make sense to have a QR code to register for an event that you are already attending on a poster. So just keep that in mind whenever you are designing.
Ellie,
But yes.
so it seems like everything that you've done so far, you're pulling out of Canva, like it's the colors and the shapes and things like that. Can we create a toolkit that's specific to our particular brand where we can just pick and choose whenever we need to, or do we need to go through the whole Canva selection in order to develop whatever it is that we're developing, flyer, poster, or other?
So that is why I kind of showed you like the little brand toolkit. So that's what you can do without Canva Pro. But if you wanted to do Canva Pro, the branding toolkit will always be on the left-hand side. So in every single file that you're opening up on Canva, that'll be there automatically that you can go and use.
Okay.
Yep. Which is again why I personally suggest it. And just try it out. Do the 30-day free trial, see how you like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
But that is what's so great about templates and the branding toolkit is they help you out in a pinch. So moving on to more to how you guys can utilize templates, my personal recommendations of the templates that you should have prepared for a small business are as follows. One, just a basic photo with business information. This can be very easy. And what is great about a basic one that just has your business information, you can update that photo as many times as you want and you have infinite possibilities. You want a quick post because you're not super active on social media that week, you need another Instagram post or whatever. That's what you're able to do. My next piece would be deals, specials, events, and then include these as both a flyer and a social media post. So that would be a letter size and a social media post, which usually falls into being a square, especially if you're posting on Instagram. This is just really important because you're able to get that information out quick. Oh my God, I just had a great idea for this special. It starts today. I need to get it out. I don't have any time. That's why templates are great. The next one, testimonials. This, I would argue, is probably the most important. The best form of advertising for any business will always be word of mouth. Testimonials are great because they pull that into a graphic. It's way better than saying we're the best. You have somebody else saying they're the best. We love going there. We love working with them. We love partnering with them, whatever it may be. Testimonials are huge. And just having that automatically as a template, you're going to be updating a quote, maybe a picture if you want to include a picture of them, and hands down, probably one of the most important ones you want to include. Number 4 would be business updates. So those are things like if you have a restaurant now on the menu, or new deal, sale this weekend, things like that, that you can just update really, really quick, and have more posts. The next thing would be Canva templates. Use them. That is basically what this webinar is for. You can actually see all of the different ones that they have. As soon as you open Canva, they're going to just bombard you with templates, especially with the holidays coming up. You want to wish somebody a happy Halloween, go on Canva. They are so stinking cute, super easy to use. And that's one area where I would say you probably don't need to follow your brand guidelines. You can do the black and orange or purple, whatever you want to use. All right, do not let the title of this slide fool you. There is a try in graphic design. I am just, again, a Star Wars nerd. So I really want to focus on things that you want to do versus you don't want to do when you are first starting to try graphic design. Starting off with the do's. 2 fonts, keep it simple. That is why I love the font families that I showed you guys earlier, how they're all the same kind of font. You can use those as many times basically as you want. So you can have one simple and one complex. One complex would be more like a script or cursive font. Try to stick to 3 colors. Anything more than that might get a little bit hard to follow. Even on the slide itself, you can see that we have 2 different hues of green and gray. Just an easy basis to start off with. And then on top of that, 3 key elements. So that would be a photo, the pumpkin graphic that I showed you earlier, and some text. 3 key elements, keep it simple. The next do is to keep things in line on one side or centered. You don't want things staggered like popcorn, especially when you're first starting to design. It just is a little bit easier to follow for whoever is looking at your graphic. That goes along with balance, which would just be equal space between text images and any other graphic images. This is really just saying you don't want all of your design on one side versus the other. It gets a little bit confusing for whoever is looking at the graphic. All of this goes to say, use the KISS method. The KISS method is keep it simple, stupid. When in doubt, keep it as simple as possible. You don't want to do too much. The best designs really are the ones that you just get to look at, and within 10 seconds, you really know what you're trying to get after with that. Moving on to don't, busy designs. So basically everything I said, if you do the opposite, that leads to a busy design. It has a lag hierarchy, so you won't be able to see the first key piece of information, which is the hook, and you won't be able to follow that to the call to action. That is what hierarchy is. When people are really scrambling to find the information that they're looking for, it produces issues, and people will usually just ignore your graphic, your flyer, whatever it is, and we don't want them to do that. Switching up fonts and colors that go outside of your branding. Like I was saying before, being consistent with your branding is probably the biggest thing that you can possibly do, especially when you're starting off with your graphics. It makes you a lot more recognizable. People understand when they're scrolling through Instagram, oh, this is Berwyn Sprout, because they always use these colors or they always use these fonts. They might not say that subconsciously, they are saying that. Try to do that as much as you possibly can. It's another reason why using your logo is very important. And the last one would be bad cropping. Don't just use a photo for using a photo. I know I said always use a photo when you can. That is correct, but also make sure that you are highlighting the subject of that photo. You're not just using one for the sake of it. My pro tip with everything would say, go from when you're resizing, so going from a flyer to a social media post, start with the graphic that has the most information or is the largest and move to the smallest. It's always going to be easier to take away the information rather than add that information. And just to kind of elaborate on all of what I just said, this is a do and a don't. So do, left-hand side, this is a graphic that I recently created for Berwyn's Oktoberfest. You can see that it is balanced. Everything is in line in the center. It is easy to read. The first thing that you're going to see is Oktoberfest. You immediately know what that poster is for. You move on, cool, they have beer, food, live music. It's in Berwyn. It's along Windsor and Grove. It's Friday, Saturday. And you want some more information, you can either go to the link, the call to action at the bottom, or you can see a little bit more of what we have. Free entry, food vendors, beer, carnival, kids zone. Also, it should be a hoot, and you guys should definitely come to that. That's besides the point. Moving on to don't. This, I genuinely looked at Busy Design on Google. This, you have no idea where you're looking. They are using a million different fonts. They have a lot of different elements. So they have 3 different photos, arrows, a lot of different logos that are just kind of taking everything over, a textured background, multiple phone numbers to call. You don't know what you're supposed to do with this right off the bat. Whereas Oktoberfest, that poster, within probably 15 seconds, and that's a reach, you know exactly what's going on. The one on the right, to be honest with you, I've looked at this for like 5 minutes and I still don't know what it's supposed to accomplish. So just make sure you are keeping it simple, you're keeping things in line and as well balanced as possible. Now for the fun part, we are going to put a template together and you guys are going to see just how easy it is to use a Canva template. So right here is just a template that I found. We already have our logo in here. And since I was just talking about Oktoberfest, that is what we are going to do. So I double clicked where it says Art Festival 2022. We are going to change that to Berwyn Oktoberfest. This immediately goes on to 3 lines. We obviously don't want that. Right here where that vertical line is, if you drag it over, you are able to put it onto 1 line. Again, the corner, you grab it, slide it over, you're able to adjust the sizing. Berwyn Oktoberfest does have free entry, so we're going to leave that. But in terms of when it is going to be Friday, September 20th from 6 to 12 p.m. or 11 p.m. Then we're going to do Saturday, September 21st from 12 to 11 p.m. So we immediately have that information there. We want the call to action. Where can they go for more information? Why Berwyn.com. But I want to include a little bit more to the call to action. So I'm going to say for more info. Now, I don't like the way that looks. It gets a little bit busy right there. You don't know where you're looking first. So what I'm going to do is grab for more info, copy that, just using Control C, Control V to paste it. The color did not stay the same color, so I'm going to go up, change the color using the document colors. And then we're going to drag it right below. Make it a little bit smaller so you understand that they go together, but it's not falling on top of each other. And beautiful. Now I can honestly say that that is not what Oktoberfest looks like. So we are going to go into uploads where I already put a photo for Oktoberfest. And we're just going to drag it, drop it, automatically switches it. Now, while the cropping for this one is okay, it could be better. So I'm going to double click it. It'll pop up with this where I can now adjust it. I want to show more of the crowd, so that's what I'm going to do. But now I don't love that this is being shown. I don't love that a lady digging through her purse, although we're very happy that she is purchasing things at Oktoberfest. We don't want to showcase that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to group them. Grouping them just means that instead of moving this by itself, by me grouping them, now when I move one part of that, all of it moves. I'm going to do that on the same side over here. I'm going to group these. Drag this over. So just switching places, basically. We're gonna ungroup it, and then I'm gonna grab this, and I'm gonna hide her, because I didn't want her shown. So there we go. We have free entry, the information. I want to keep this in line as much as possible. It makes it a little bit easier to read. Now we have more room. I can make this larger. The logo is getting covered. I also don't love that the logo is kind of being lost in the back. So what I'm going to go, since we do have the brand toolkit here, I'm going to pull our white logo. Again, resize using the corner, dragging. I'm going to put this in the corner. I'm going to leave this right here. But now what I notice is it's a little unbalanced. There's a lot of space under the date. There's a lot of space underneath the main hook. So what I'm going to do, go into Elements, Oktoberfest. I immediately think beer. So I'm going to search beer. Beer Stein, to be exact. Click on See More for graphics. Go through I like this one. This one's cute. Gonna shrink it down just so that it adds a little bit. Doesn't need to be anything crazy. And now the second thing I think of is pretzels. Gonna add some fun little pretzels to it. So this, again, we're just dragging, shrinking them. I want it to be a little bit more rotated. We're gonna duplicate these, just have a little bit of fun with it. Obviously, this isn't gonna be perfect. It's just a little run through for you guys so you understand just how easy it is to add these elements and really just drag things around, understanding where things might not be balanced. Now, I don't love the color of this. I don't feel like it matches anymore because this color was originally taken from the photo that was the background originally for the art. So what I'm going to do is go over here. We can either use photo colors or for the actual photo, we can use the pretzel photo or the pretzel colors. I personally want the beer stein colors and that isn't available. So I'm going to go over here to the rainbow, go to the eyedropper tool. There we go. Those colors are being brought together now. That's something that you can also do with the text. We're gonna do this. I want this color now. So again, just super easy, things that you can mess with. And that is just how easy it really can be to use a template on Canva. Again, practice makes progress. Do not feel discouraged just because it is not incredible right away. By no means are any of us going to be Picasso within the next 10 years. But, you know, that's what makes graphic design a lot of fun. So for recap and takeaways before I answer any questions that you guys might have, like I said about a million times throughout this presentation, branding is vital. Keep a consistent image so you are recognizable to your customers, target audience, whoever it might be. Templates, have 5 to 10 templates immediately ready. So I highly encourage you just to go check out Canva, see what you're able to create in a short amount of time. I promise you, you'll be surprised. And you might even just get lost in it and have a lot of fun and have a little nice therapeutic session of messing with Canva tonight. This will immediately help you. I highly encourage it, especially if you're trying to be more active on social media. Hierarchy, again, the most important needs to be the biggest, the least important, the smallest. So the most important, usually the hook, the you're invited or Oktoberfest, things like that. So least important, which is where people are going to go when they're already hooked. And that's going to be the smallest. When in doubt, I would say always look at what you want your design to accomplish and go from there. I think that's a great reason to start with templates from Canva, simply because you're able to go in there and really see what other people are doing. What are they including? You know, you don't need to completely start something from scratch. Most graphic designers, fun fact, do not. I will always pull inspiration from other graphic designers because it just saves a lot of time, just like the templates that Canva offers. And then one last thing, the next webinar will be November 5th, 2024. So I hope you guys come back to hang out with me. That one is going to be going more over design principles. So we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into what it actually is designing, not so much using templates. Templates are something that you can just have fun with on your own, whereas design principles, I'm really gonna go in and show you what balance is, for example, and things like that. But my information is all there, so you can feel free to call me, email me. If you want to set up a one-on-one time, anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, just to go over what you can do for your graphic design with your small business, I would be more than happy to help. But yeah, that is all for right now. I don't know if any questions were put in the chat.
Thank you, Allie. We did have a question about a more in-depth series, so I think you just answered that one. We do have a date for the second one, as Allie mentioned. We'll follow up to this list of everyone who registered for today's meeting if you're interested in attending the second one, and then likewise, we'll keep you informed of the third. And as Allie mentioned, and just kind of bringing it back to the BDC being a business support organization with the Cook County Small Business Source, we do offer free business advising. So if you were to set a one-on-one consultation with Allie, say you did a virtual 15, 30 minutes, whatever it is you have time for and works for your schedule, that would be part of the free business advising services that we offer. So if you want to chat with Allie, it doesn't have to be a one-time thing. If you want to make it more of like a, relationship building and kind of show progress with your work, Allie's available to offer that as well. And let me go back. I think there was one question in the chat, Allie. I don't know if you may have answered this already, but Fabiola from Cortina Heating and Cooling was asking what your suggestion would be on some beginner-friendly projects.
I think that kind of goes back to what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're going for a specific event, start with a flyer. I, again, think that it's best to start with the graphic that has the most information, because it's always going to be easier to take away information than add information. But social media posts can be really fun to mess with on Canva. And all in all, I would just say go on Canva and look at all of their stuff and just start messing around with it. And it's a lot of fun. Again, I find it very therapeutic. It's almost like building a puzzle. So I would say go with like one of those, but social media posts maybe a little bit more beginner friendly, just because you're not going to have as much information, so you're not going to feel like you have too many things that you need to mess with or make sure are looking nice on that.
Thank you, Allie. Does anybody else have any other questions? I didn't see any in the chat. If I missed it, please feel free to raise your hand or come off mute. Now is really the time to go ahead and make use of these next 15 minutes if you guys want Allie to give you any more tips, tricks, or walk through anything on the platform itself on Canva.
Oh, I think it would be helpful for those participants that are on now to provide any feedback to make sure that everything is kind of aligned with where their head is, now that Ellie's given a good preview of the opportunity and what can actually be created. But I'm sure, like myself, I come back as like I always have a lot of questions after the fact. So feedback would be great for all of you that are currently online now.
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. If anyone has any feedback they'd like to share, how did you find this, the content covered in this webinar? Was it helpful? Is it things that you already know? Are you kind of new to Canva? What would you like us to present in the coming ones?
Perfect.
Jasmine, she said it was very straightforward. Thank you. And you can come off mute or you can put them in the chat like Jasmine did as well.
I'm gonna say something. I'm Erica. I didn't know of what you were doing, Ellie, with choosing the color from like the way you did from the beer and then put it into the font. I didn't know how to do that, so I just learned that, which is pretty cool.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
So it was helpful for me, and I think I would like to attend the one on in November 5th, because I do play a lot with Canva to do on my, either if it's an invitation or if it's like the markets, festivals that I do. So for me, this is really helpful to learn more different techniques to figure out and play with Canva.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
I just learned that too, Erica. I am by no means an expert in Canva, and I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know you could do
I
that
know.
either.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, you could do that? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to try it.
That's one thing that's also great about Canva. They're always adding new features, which is something that I've noticed. I've been messing with Canva for as long as it's been around. And people will always, graphic designers a lot of times kind of stick their nose up in the air to Canva. And I like to believe that the smarter ones, we take advantage of what Canva offers. And it does make the process a lot more seamless, even if you're just going in there and just grabbing some elements because they're free. So why not use them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Going on to the next one here, talking about free. Maria is asking if we know what the price is for the Pro.
I can definitely look that up for you really quick.
I think last time we talked about it, it was what, like 140 for the year?
It's 120 per year for one
120.
person. Offers unlimited premium templates, over 100 million photos and videos, AI tools and more. And then it kind of has a variety of things. Let me actually copy this link over and I will send it to you guys right now so you can look a little bit more into the plans that they offer.
That would be great. Thank you. If you could drop it in the chat. Libby said, love the quick info, quick things we can set up to have on hand for our businesses. Thank you, Libby. Shantae says she's used Canva templates before, but didn't know about the little tricks like the color, and she really appreciates that. That looks like that was a new thing for most of us here. Fabiola has some suggestions here. More information on the apps that can be synchronized with Canva. Allie, do you know about that? I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, like I said, Canva's always offering some new features, but I will be happy to dive into that and try to include it in one of the next 2 webinars.
Or Fabi, do you mean like social media apps? I'm not sure if I'm understanding correctly. But again, this is not my wheelhouse at all, so I really don't know. Can you maybe unmute and let us know?
It's like apps you can synchronize directly with Canva, and then it adds like resources. If you have an account on those apps, you can, I believe, I don't mess with it too much, but you can add more features from those apps if you use them already.
Okay. So it's kind of like
Like a plugin?
widget and stuff.
Within
Yeah, like
Canva?
a
Okay, yeah.
regular program, but you just log in.
We might need you to teach us about that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there are certain things like how I say you want to include QR codes. One of the apps is actually that you would be able just to automatically get a QR code without having to go and create one on a separate platform or website. You just be able to include the link that you want to have a QR code for, and without leaving the design file. So yeah, I definitely really like that. And that's something that I think would be really useful to go over.
There's another comment here. It says maybe more information on integration with your booking sites. And I think that is referring to maybe like the Meta Business Suite and like the Hootsuites is what I'm thinking of.
You got it.
Jasmine is doubling on that. Please teach us about that, about the QR code. Well, this is really helpful feedback. Thank you all for sharing because it does really help us identify where the needs are. And hopefully the next one will only build off of this and be even more useful for what you're needing in your business.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
Any final questions, comments, feedback anyone would like to share?
Great job.
Yeah, great job, Ellie.
Information is power, so that's good.
All right, so I'm gonna
I 100%
stop the
agree.
recording at this time.